I want to switch a little bit, though, to Taiwan here and get your reaction to this, Mike. Chinese President, of course, Xi told his military that he wants to have the capability to take control of Taiwan by force by 2027. Now, this is per CIA Deputy Director David Cohen, who said that he does not currently believe that Beijing has made a decision about whether or not to proceed. Your take on this?
Yeah, I think they've definitely accelerated their timeline. I agree with the assessment that they haven't picked a date on the calendar, but that's just a logistical issue. I think that what they're seeing in the world and the way that they assess it, meaning the Chinese regime right now, I think they have definitely pushed up this concept of we want to bring Taiwan back into the fold. Look, the question that they ask themselves every time they look at this as a plan, as a scenario, is what will be the pushback? What's going to happen, particularly from the U.S. and our allies, if they do make a move on Taiwan. And so they have to look at real world scenarios. And it's not a theoretical exercise. They look at what's happened in Ukraine, and they looked at it's sanctions. We've said the red line is boots on the ground. Now, the Chinese regime sits and they stare at each other across their conference table and they say, do we think there would be any difference if we move on Taiwan? Meaning, do we think that the president, whether it's Biden or the next administration, would say, OK, we are putting boots on the ground to defend Taiwan? And that's at the end of the day, I don't want to oversimplify this, but that is the base calculation that they make.
Yeah, so it sounds like they're kind of hedging a little bit, trying to say, will they or won't they being the United States. General Holt, before we go, I would love to get your thoughts on China invading Taiwan with force. Will it happen? Won't it happen?
I just think they get hurt too badly, and they're not going to do that right now. Certainly on this side of October 16th, which is the 20th Congress that's supposed to confirm Xi, they're not going to do anything. And I would also argue that Xi and the CCP has a much higher goal, and it involves the BRICS, and it involves disintermediating or getting rid of the U.S. dollar on world markets. And right now, they've got a lot of fans that we should be very worried about in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and India. We have to watch those very carefully.
Wow, okay.
I'd say that the general is correct. If I could add one more point, sure, which is that I think there's also an emotive issue here. And by that, I mean, Xi doesn't want to leave the world stage. He's not going to give up until he has reunified with Taiwan. So based on his health, whatever, he's definitely getting a third term out of this Congress coming up next month, that the general mentioned. But that is a calculation that we have to play into as well. He is not leaving the world stage, would be my assessment, without bringing Taiwan back into the fold.